Zach, almost a classic ball game, and you guys come out on the trail end of this thing. But what was it like to be able to? I mean, this is what a super regional is supposed to be. I mean, what was it like out there for you guys on the field, in the dugout?
I mean, yeah, we've heard a lot about it, this field, this atmosphere, and it absolutely lived up to it. I mean, I think they set some sort of record for attendance for a super regional, and you definitely heard them. And it was a very, very good atmosphere, like you said, exactly what a super regional should be like.
Up next, we'll go to Robbie Falk.
Zach, they had trouble getting you out, but as far as what they were able to do in those later innings, I know Sims was what he is, but what was making them so effective in those later innings and allowing them to climb back in the ball game and ultimately take the lead? Y'all come out swinging and put up some runs and were constantly on the base pass, but what do you think they did differently or better later in the innings?
I think it was just locating multiple pitches for strikes, getting the fastball and the off-speed pitch in. The curveball for both guys was really good at the end, and then just constantly getting ahead, and just we weren't hitting those pitches when we were even in the count, ahead in the count, stuff like that.
Up next, we'll go to George Bashira.
Hey Zach, great effort from the plate today. Talk about the hits that you got there against Mississippi State.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Wallace, Link, and I have worked a lot on my approach lately. It's really just trying to be nice and easy with it. It's singles up the middle, and then they'll develop into more power as it goes. And I guess that happened today. And I really just was just trying to put the ball in play hard, and it happened to go a little farther than a single, I guess.
We'll go to Patrick Engel next.
Zach, coming in with knowing the type of defense you guys have played this year, how much do some of those errors later in the game that helped them get some base runners and climb back in and kind of eat at you?
Yeah, I mean, those are going to hurt for a while, especially my two. Those are in big spots, and that's on me. I rushed those plays a little bit, and I'm better than that, and I know that we're going to come back much stronger tomorrow and play the type of defense and baseball we've played all year.
Up next, we'll go to John Bross.
Hey Zach, just what was the message in the locker room after the game, and following up on the defense a little bit? Do you think it was the noise or the moment, or kind of what do you think maybe happened there? As good as you all have been all season.
We haven't talked to the team yet. We're gonna do that back at the hotel. But I think it was. I don't want to attribute it to one thing in particular. I mean, errors happen, and obviously they're magnified in a place like this and at a time like this. But I think it's just an error in an unfortunate time.
Thank you.
We'll go back to Patrick.
Zach, you guys kind of wore out a pretty good starter and chased him early in the game. What were you seeing in particular where it seemed like you guys were seeing his slider pretty well and laying off it?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked all week. We expected him to start this game here, so we were ready to go for the fastball and laying off that slider, like you said. And he wasn't really able to locate that for a strike early, so we could kind of hone in on that fastball and take control a little bit.
We'll go to Steve Robertson next.
Back in February, if somebody told you guys you're playing for Super Regional, I'm sure you would have taken it. But now the reality of this thing is this great story is now your backs are up against the wall. You're one game away from the season ending. I mean, how does that feel right now? And, how confident are you and your team to bounce back tomorrow? I mean, obviously this one hurts, but I think we showed, these fans in the world that we're not a joke or anything like that. We're definitely as good or better than this team and the teams that we're up against. And I think we're super confident that we can come back and win the next two. We've done it many times in the past, lost the first series and won the next two to win the series. So we're excited about it. We're going to come in, play confident and loose like we always have been, and hope that turns out in our favor.
Link, obviously the defense in a season of consistency has been maybe the most consistent thing of all. Kind of what happened today and how quickly can you get to the guys and just tell them to sort of flush it and move on?
The surface plays completely different than ours. We knew that, but the way it reacts off that turf on the plate, I think that affected a little bit. And obviously the dirt plays hard and fast. We did not handle it well. We were a little bit out of sorts, and some balls in the outfield, the line drives that kind of kicked away from our guys. But you can't make the kind of mistakes we made defensively and on the mound. We didn't execute pitches at a high enough clip to kind of hold it in check. It's hard to win when you make those kind of mistakes. It's not impossible. We were on the verge of doing it, but it definitely wasn't the normal style of baseball that we play. The ball was in play. I thought Bertrand threw well. I thought Colup threw okay. We just didn't have a lot of defensive support, and it was tough. So we'll get back to the hotel immediately, and we'll break this down. Some of these guys are still learning. It's a tough learning environment at this point, but some of our guys are still learning and haven't been through an atmosphere and a field that plays like that. And that combination led to a lot of mistakes. And their guys battled, man. That's a very good team, obviously, that was playing with a lot of energy at home here.
Up next, we'll go to Steve Robertson.
Coach, you almost had a best case situation there with, you guys were able to separate the game. You had Tanner on the hill there. I mean, other than the defensive lapses there, I mean, what did you see happen? How were they able to come back and take the lead?
Our guys were ready to play. Like, our guys engaged in the game. We just didn't play solid, sound defense. We rushed the ball at shortstop. Prajzner had a great game. I mean, beautiful game offensively. The one double play we turned there up the middle was phenomenal. But we just had too many mistakes. And when you're in collect-out mode, that's exactly what you have to do. And we did not collect some of the outs that were presented to us. And it's hard. You can overcome it, but it's extremely challenging in this setting with those caliber of arms that they're running out there to overcome those sort of non-collected outs. And we almost did it. But, man, I love the atmosphere and the way our guys played. I think we needed to settle and kind of experience a ball game on this field to handle it better tomorrow, hopefully.
Up next, we'll go to Aiden Thomas.
Hey, Coach. So you talked about after the regional, one of your memories from this season was losing the first game of that Wake series early in the year and bouncing back and winning the next two. You've done that a few times this season. What is that mentality like, and how are you guys looking to pull that off again?
Well, we better pull it off, or that's it. Our team, I don't think, has lost back-to-back games in 2 years, and that's hard to do. I could be wrong with that stat, but we have to just kind of regroup ourselves and figure our pitching out for tomorrow and go. These guys are resilient, man. We have been through a lot of tough baseball with the number of games we played in the ACC. It is a grinder, and these weekends, minus the atmosphere that exists here, like, we've been in this grinder before. So the guys will respond. You can tell when you watch our guys, like, they enjoy playing and they play the game hard, and that's really all you can ask. You just, at the end of the day, have to execute better, and they'll bounce back.
Let's go to Tim Prister next.
Link, I would imagine you had to be happy with the early plate appearances. You laid off of Bednar's slider, jumped on some first pitch fastballs. What was the philosophy going in, and did you peg him accurately?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. We knew going in what we were trying to do. We did it. We talked about the ebbs and flows of the game and absorbing some of the blows and delivering blows. We had a chance. We had a chance to do more, but these guys are in the position they're in because they can navigate and sometimes damage control it a little bit, and they did that. Bednar was good. Patrick, Johnson, they're all good in their own right, and our guys know what they're trying to do. I was overall pleased with the at-bats. There were moments it could have been better, but I have no complaints, man. They were ready to go, and I thought they executed it fairly well.
Up next, we'll go to Eric Hansen.
Coach Sims is a handful, obviously, but if you see him again, what do you think your guys may have taken from their at-bats? What can you take away from the experience of seeing him live?
Visually trying to track it, and the guys that saw him have to communicate to the other guys to figure out what this thing looks like that appears to climb on you. It's a very effective pitch. He's a tough kid out there, and he makes critical pitches for his team. And our guys do a great job of communicating about what this stuff looks like. Now, you can communicate all you want. You can watch all the video you want. Until you've seen some pitches in that box live, it's a little tough to simulate or prepare for that type of climbing fastball that was 92 93 to 97 today or whatever it was. So they'll communicate, and we'll just do our best to adapt a little bit.
Let's go to George Bashura.
Hey, Coach, we've talked back and forth during the season about the adversity your team faces, the one game at a time approach. And I'm sure the guys will be upset and apologize for the loss today. What's the message do you give them to settle them down and just to remember how they played the whole season?
Well, it's a 3-game series for a reason. I mean, they have to beat us twice, and we have to win 2 games in a row. Fact. I think the guys are okay. Like, trying to relax them at this point, I never sensed any frustration to the point of an inability to perform. So I'm not worried about that. On this stage, mistakes are very humbling and hard to learn from, but that's what they have to do. Like, they have to learn from some of the things that happen in this game, in this atmosphere, and apply that next time, because some of the things are very difficult to simulate in practices, and we have to freelance it a little better and adapt a little bit better. But I'm not worried about like the overdone frustration. These guys are competitive, and it's okay to be disappointed, upset, mad. Sometimes that focuses you, and that's how we'll go about it.
Let's go to Patrick Engel.
I think with Cole Hep thrown, I think it was 77 pitches, and presumably being down for a day, if not the series, how much does that impact your pitching plan for what you want to do tomorrow, and how much of an idea have you had, if any, to kind of think about the direction you want to go with that?
Well, we have some options to open the game, and then we'll figure it out. Like, we've got guys that have pitched in all sorts of roles this year, and that's one of the strengths of our team, is the flexibility of the personnel on the mound. So we'll figure it out. I mean, it's Cole, that's probably it for tomorrow. We'll see how he feels on Monday, but it's a lot to ask of a kid to come back. And he's a tough kid. Again, he's learning. If you look at the inning workload of some of these guys, he's still in the early stages of pitching at this level. And he's a competitive kid, athletic kid. So we'll see how he responds and find out if he's available, get this thing to Monday.
Let's go to Robbie Falk.
Coach, you scored in the first 5 innings, I think, and had a 7-3 lead. State just really couldn't get a clean inning during that time. What did you see from Preston Johnson to kind of settle in and allow Mississippi State to come back there?
His breaking pitches were effective, and he kept them down. Like, he really did. I don't know if I guess Prajzner may have hit one in the corner, Brannigan might have hit one, but it was very sporadic quality contact on the breaking ball. So looked like the velocity kind of added and subtracted with the breaking pitch. So he's throwing maybe curveball and a slider, and he pitched off of it very well. And he made the play. Like, I think Myers hit one back at him, and he ran over there and picked it up and recorded that out. So he pitched. And all of their guys, every one of the guys that ran out there, they're totally different type of arms. And I was proud of the way we kind of matched the variety that they ran out there. All very, very good arms. But his breaking ball was exceptional today and located very well.
We have time for a few more questions. We'll go back to Steve.
Coach, these are the kind of games that you come to college and play baseball for. I mean, I know it didn't go the way you wanted, but from your vantage point, you're sitting over there. I mean, did it feel like the heavyweight fight that it did for the rest of us here? I mean, it just seemed like it was just almost a classic type game.
National championship caliber game. Point blank. Atmosphere, personnel, strategy, talent. Like, that is what it's about at the highest amateur levels, and everybody saw it. Now, we didn't play the highest level of defense like our team has played, and that was a turning point in the ball game. But make no mistake, like, it doesn't get any more intense or exciting than that. And it's tough to be on the wrong side of it, but man, everybody that was here, I don't know what the attendance is, 14,385. That's why they show up. And they made this what it is. Like, these fans are great, and they add to the excitement and the intensity and the energy for this game. It was great.
We'll go to Aiden Thomas next.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about what you saw on how they approached Nico today at the plate. You know, he had that 10-pitch battle with Sims at the end, and what you saw about how Nico attacked their pitching staff and how they were pitching him today.
Yeah, his at-bats, what did he walk? He walked twice, grounded out on a changeup, and punched out. So it's hard for me right now sitting here with those at-bats to base it off of. It was a little tricky for me to say, like, how they attacked him. I don't know if they mixed a little bit, didn't double up on things. I'd have to go back. That's a tough one for me to dissect right now with all this occurred. But he looked like he was on it, man. He laid off some tough pitches and had a couple good at-bats. So obviously his blows help us, and we'll need a couple down the stretch to open this thing up a little bit offensively.